Today we're reviewing the best new Steam Deck game that nobody is talking about, and I don't know why. And yes, I have a Steam Deck. Even though I'm a Nintendo Switch 2 guy, it is okay to enjoy both consoles. I know a lot of people struggle with that online. But typically on this channel, I wouldn't be reviewing a Steam Deck game, but when the developer for Jotuunslayer Hordes of Hel reached out to me and provided me with a review code for the game, I thought two things. One, I was flattered because the email subject said that my DNA test had come in and I was 100% a Norse god. Stop it, you. I know I've been going to the gym, but I don't look that good, right? But jokes aside, the second thing that I thought was that this game looked like an absolute blast, mixing Norse mythology with a Diablo 4 inspired art style. Now don't worry, I am reviewing the game from a Steam Deck standpoint where I played most of my time, but I did record some stuff on my PC so you didn't have to look at this the whole time. So what is Jotuunslayer Hordes of Hel? Well, this game is a survival-like game, similar in vein to other games like Vampire Survivors or Temtem Swarm that released on September 3rd, where there are minimal button inputs. You're just running around, avoiding taking damage while your abilities autocast. And personally, I love these style of games, especially on handheld devices, because I feel like they're right at home on those devices. Now this game is very similar to those other games I mentioned, Temtem Swarm, Vampire Survivors, but it does add some twists that really make it stand apart from those. First off, there's the Norse theme. The different maps that you'll be playing on in the game and the enemies that you encounter are inspired by the 9 realms and the creatures that inhabit them, and it's done in this gory and graphic art style that reminds me a lot of the Diablo games, which I am also a big fan of. Now each level in the game has a timed difficulty mode as well as endless modes. There are hard, easy, normal, all of those different game modes there, but also the endless run, so you can really push to see how far you can get in each particular level. And when you begin each level, you'll select from a variety of different classes that you can unlock as you complete more and more levels. Each class has their own unique skills and passives, as well as interchangeable weapons that you can unlock, which changes the class's active ability. There are also some costumes for the characters that are locked behind certain level completions or paid DLC, which really add some flair to the characters. And each class feels absolutely unique in their own way, making each one feel very fun to play and suited for different situations. I found that certain enemy types on one map were better taken on by certain class types, so I would change which class I was actually utilizing depending on the map that I was doing my run on. Now once you're in game, there's only actually a couple button inputs you need to worry about. The first is you can dash, then you can also obviously move your character, and then there is an active ability that is determined by your weapon, and outside of that, all your other abilities auto-fire. And as you take down enemies with your auto-firing abilities and you gain experience, you'll level up, allowing you to choose to pick a class ability or passive, or be gifted a passive or ability from one of the Norse gods. And this reminded me a ton of Hades, which was something that I thought was super cool. I'm a huge fan of Hades. I really like how the power-ups are given by the gods in that game, and this immediately reminded me of that. And figuring out how you want to build your character each run by choosing your active and your passive abilities is such an addicting loop, and it feels like there's a ton of different ways to play each individual class and build out your character depending on what you need and what presents themselves. And you can re-roll options. If you don't like any of the passives or the actives that you see there, you are able to re-roll them and see if you can get a better roll on that. And there are limited though, so you need to be mindful when you're using your re-rolls how many you have left and if you actually want to use it at that time. And now as you progress through the level, you'll come across side quests to complete, treasure chests, and loot enemies, and all of these things add to the risk and reward of the gameplay loop. Are you in a good enough position to risk compromising yourself to take down the side objective, or do you just need to try and find some health and avoid sitting still and letting the enemies swarm you? This decision-making process each round can lead to your success or failure of your run, but the reward at the end of that objective is always incredibly tempting. And at the end of these time levels, you'll be faced with a final boss fight, and defeating it ends the run. Now, once you complete a run, you'll be able to go to the skill page and trade in the gold that you acquired through the run to unlock new skill points, allowing you to upgrade the various classes in the game and make you more powerful for your next subsequent run. And it's this addicting loop of going in, doing your level, seeing how far you can go, collecting your gold, powering up, and doing it all over again that immediately hooked me with this game. The simplicity of the gameplay makes it easy to pick up, but the challenge of the harder difficulties and the further levels keeps you revisiting older locations to earn more gold and continue powering up your characters to then progress farther in the game. Now the big question is, how does this actually perform on the Steam Deck? Well, it is Steam Deck verified, and admittedly, it runs pretty well. The textures look a bit worse compared to my PC. This is really obvious, but I feel like I have to include this because I feel like the majority of the internet doesn't understand how PC handhelds work, and they're not dedicated consoles, so I feel like I just gotta toss that in. And I probably could make the game look a bit nicer, but in some of the harder levels with the graphics turned up, I found that the game begins to lag quite a bit as more and more enemies swarm your screen. So honestly, I just kept the graphics turned down a bit to keep the game playing smoothly at about 60-ish FPS, and honestly, I'm fine with the lower textures as long as the game plays well. So for me, I just lowered all the graphics settings so that way my game consistently ran at a solid frame rate. That way I had precise inputs when I needed them. And honestly, in this situation, just like on the Switch 2, as long as the game's running well, I don't really care what it looks like. That's kind of where I'm at. Now, like I said, I did play this on my PC as well to record the footage that you're seeing on screen now, and I will say I definitely prefer playing this game with a controller over a mouse and keyboard, but I'm a console guy, so that could just be my personal preference. I just felt like I had a lot more control over my character playing with a thumbstick versus playing with a mouse and keyboard. Now, as far as negatives go about Jotuunslayer Hordes of Hel, I really only have one complaint with the game. One, that's it. And that's the fact that there's no multiplayer in this game at all, which is such a bummer. Immediately when I saw this game, I went to Steam and I was going to gift the game to my brother so that way we could play the game together for this review, and then I realized the game is single player, and I feel like it's such a disservice to this game because getting in and being able to play this game with a friend or a group of friends and do like the endless run levels, that would be so much fun. Picking different classes, speccing out your builds, and working together. Oh my gosh, that would be such a good time, so addicting, and it just breaks my heart that this game does not have a multiplayer mode. Now, I did ask the dev that I was in contact with if there were any plans for multiplayer down the road, and they said at this time they were unsure about that. So fingers crossed that later down the road this game does get a multiplayer update, because that would be freaking awesome. I would play the crap out of that. I would immediately gift the game to my brother and my dad, and we would be playing this and having a great time. But as it sits right now, this is a single player experience with it, which, gosh, it just breaks my heart. Now, obviously, I'm a Nintendo Switch 2 channel, so I asked them if there were any plans for a Switch 2 port, because I feel that this game would be perfect on the Nintendo Switch 2. And they said this. They said that based on how the launch of this particular version of the game did, they did have plans for other console ports down the line. So there is hope that this game could come over to the Nintendo Switch 2. And I tell you right now, I would immediately buy this game again to play it on my Nintendo Switch 2. I love this game. It is so much fun. It is so addicting. And it's just a game style that I enjoy so much. I would totally buy this again and play it on the Nintendo Switch 2. That would be just freaking awesome on that platform. Oh man, I really hope this game does well. So ultimately, after playing Jotuunslayer on my Steam Deck for about 5-6 hours, I can't recommend this game enough. It feels perfect on the Steam Deck and has become one of those games that when I just need to kill a little bit of time, I pick up my Steam Deck and I play a couple rounds. It just has that addictive loop that I love in survival-like games, but adds a ton of new elements and unlockables that sets it apart from other games in the genre that keep me coming back for more. And coming in at $15 on Steam, I feel like that's an absolute steal of a deal. I feel like they are giving this game away for the amount of content that is actually in the game as it sits right now, but also the number of hours that you can dump into this game. I've only completed the first 2 levels and I've played like 6 hours, and there's so much more. I just can't. I need to keep upgrading my characters because I can't beat the level that I currently have unlocked to unlock the next one. It's such a fun and addictive loop that for $15, this is a steal. I really cannot say that enough. It's currently still on sale. Let me see how much longer that's going for. It's currently on sale until September 17th for $12. So if you want to pick it up a little bit discount, you can get that. There also is the DLC that gets you the extra cosmetics and stuff, so that is available as well. But yeah, if you want this game and think it looks cool, pick it up while it's on sale until September 17th. Definitely worth the time. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Obviously a little different doing Steam Deck instead of Nintendo Switch 2 stuff, but this game was super cool and I wanted to talk about it. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if this is a game that interests you or if you're into survival-like games like this. Also, be sure to check out the Discord where people are hanging out playing Nintendo Switch 2 stuff all the time. But also, be sure to check out, if you want to support the channel in any additional way, there is the membership option here on the channel that is available available to you if that is something that you're interested in. Again, it's not a required thing by any stretch of the imagination. It's just there if you're looking to give me a couple extra bucks and support me a little further than just watching the vids, and it's always appreciated. But like I said, that is it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.